2025 is 5 p.m. and may we begin our normally scheduled board meeting for the town of Woodville, Mississippi. Is there someone available to give a prayer?
Let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we just come and thank you, Lord God, for your presence, Lord. Thank you, Lord God, for peace, joy, that only comes through Jesus Christ. Lord, we lift up the Alderman, we lift up the mayor and everyone that is here. We ask that you would bless them in a mighty way in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Would y'all like to wait a minute to for the approval of the minutes and approval to pay the bills to get a chance to look at them, or do we want to take care of that now?
Do just look at them.
So we're going to do utility report. You want to cover? Can we? Let's hold off on the reports for 1 second. Elaine, can we go ahead and go to new business and get some of these visitors taken care of?
Yes, sir.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Pastor Dunbar?
Yes.
Are you available?
I am.
All right.
Hi everyone doing?
Good.
I'm here. Well, let me just say we bought the old warehouse and it's for those that have need, and we need water, we need sewage, and eventually we'll need gas. But what it is, it's not a permanent thing. For the time when someone needs a license, all they can come and stay there. It's a hurricane or emergency, they can come. Somebody gets burned out, they can come. But it's not a permanent thing that I've been hearing. Nobody gonna stay there forever. It's just that when there's a need. And especially for folks who need to be on the ventilator, they can come there and use the utility at no cost. We're just trying to get water and sewage.
All right. I'm sorry, what? No. It's take it right off of Maggie Natchez. It's headed into the old warehouse.
Oh, okay.
I think it's an old warehouse, old furniture warehouse.
What is the age?
On that street, I was thinking they talking about health department.
Okay, so that.
It's down about the cottage gym. I know.
Is the board clear on what Pastor Dunbar is, what he's looking to do with that property? It's not a detention center, it's not a homeless shelter, it's a house of, put forth for those in dire need. I'm very appreciative that he has taken the time and making the effort to do such a thing. So the question now is the water and sewer. Have you had any discussions about that?
I met with Pastor Dunbar, and the water is not a big issue. But it's a big, small issue. But sewer, it's gonna have to be engineered.
All right. So does that mean asking somebody to look at it?
Well, I don't know if you can get sewer. You got to cross adjacent property. So with that, you might have some attorney fee and also engineer. You just can't put it need a small lift station, a small pump station. There's no way you can gravity feed.
Okay, so was there someone say something? So is there somebody we can call in reference to getting some advice on the best way to do that?
You can start with our local contractor. Like I say, to make it work, you're gonna need some easements. So the engineers will have to, a lot of them have to be present also to make this thing work. So.
Okay. whose responsibility would it be to start making those arrangements?
That's up to the board.
Okay, so I mean, if the board wants to vote on this and talk about it, are we gonna go ahead and talk to Trey Springs first?
That'll be my best bet.
Okay.
That's to be the most cost efficient to go to him first.
Okay,
Instead of the engineer, you know.
all right.
But unfortunately, this has to go through zoning to find out if that particular location is zoned for whatever it is that you want it to be used for. And if the application has been made for that as well. So, zoning has to be contacted first.
I also explained that to Councilman Dunbar also.
My application actually emailed to the, zoning, I did get confirmation that they did receive it.
The zoning meeting is not until tomorrow.
You said, Elaine, you said the zoning had received it?
Yes, I emailed it to the president. I did get confirmation they received it.
Okay, and you said they meet tomorrow night?
They said they tomorrow.
They meet tomorrow night? Okay, so, Pastor Dunbar, let's get this through zoning. Let's get this through zoning, of course, we're gonna talk to the local contractor and get us some options on the sewer. I think the water is going to be, certainly not a big issue, but let's get some options on the sewer so we know where we stand. Do you know the neighbor that we're talking about with an easement?
Well, the playground is, lady donated to the church, so that won't be a problem with the playground, because we just got the deed and everything for that.
Which way does the line need to go, Terrell?
It had to go probably close to the adjacent neighbor to the playground. It's possible to Benjamin Davis, or possible to Ryder Davis. Yeah, to tap into a main sewer. You know. We're looking at some numbers there. You know.
Okay, so let's get through zoning, and then let's readdress this sewer thing to find the most economical, cost-effective way to get that sewer in there. Will that work?
That work.
Okay. Is the public able to attend the zoning meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
What time?
What time do they normally meet? All right, so let's just say 5 p.m. Where do they meet? Here at the courtroom? Okay. So I'm putting down, I'm just gonna tell you 5 o'clock at the courtroom. If I hear of anything otherwise, I'll let you know.
Thank you, sir.
All right, the town's been made aware of some dead trees on town property. That's overhanging some residential, areas. The question was, is the town, able to cut these trees down, to prevent any damage, in the future? It's my understanding, I think once the town's been notified that the trees are dead and dropping leaves, does it all of a sudden become our responsibility to cut those trees down?
Trees are on town property.
Yeah.
It would be liable if we notice on that, so. Well,
They're on prison property.
on which prison?
Well, I say the prison property, but the CWC Work Center.
And they don't even have to pay something like that. I mean, I gotta call about that. But, yeah, that's something we need to address.
Right, but this is more, this is a residence is concerned, not their fence, not the CWC's fence or building.
Okay. But it's on the CWC property?
It's on town property,
Okay.
but it's on, but you know, CWC occupies a portion of it.
I got you. And the trees, threatening anything?
Apparently they're dropping limbs and they're dead, they're standing dead. I just been saying as far as a windstorm and what have you, I didn't know if,
If the tree falls, is it gonna create any harm?
I think it possibly could,
And it's on our property?
yeah.
Okay, then probably need to alleviate that.
When it was mentioned to me, I thought, well, why can't we just hire someone to cut them down and lay them on the property where they are?
You could,
Not necessarily dispose of them, chop them up and haul them off, because,
you don't have to.
no, we can do that at a later date.
Vacant land, yeah.
Okay. Do we need to discuss it any further? Or would we like to get a couple estimates to, have the trees cut and laid down? Okay,
Yeah, first you need to determine that they are gonna create a harm.
yeah,
And then you suggest you get a couple of, quotes on it.
all right.
But probably, and I don't know if our town work crew can cut it, I don't know what size trees they can handle. And what size trees these are, I have no idea.
Okay.
If they can't handle it, then we'll probably need to get a couple of quotes on it.
Okay. All right,
Let's reach out to the guy that does the cemetery next and go look at it, see if he can give us a price.
okay, and then we'll work on getting another quote,
Okay.
and we'll, in the meantime, we'll determine whether or not they pose a risk.
That's the first.
Okay. All right, Delane, who else do we have that might not be on the,
Mr. Robert Bills?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, there we go. What's up? How y'all doing today?
good.
Just had a little situation. My truck, on the second south, maybe between the funeral home and the health department. I hit a pothole, unbelievable, and, wow. Anyway, I got residents on it and everything, it's a foot deep and a foot wide. All right, right in the middle of the road. All right, so I comes up to the station here to just report it, you know, it was a Saturday, and the time is here, 1:50. And just report it to the lady, you know, everything goes down, city work's gone, I gotta get out of town. All right, wow, go down the highway, in my Ford, I'm driving a 354. 354, super duty. And when they go down the road now, she doing this. So I got to hold her like this, but she doing this. All right, fine. I come back Monday, yesterday, and come to check on this, see if anybody says the problem or whatever. Nobody says the problem. So I come to Mr. Lewis there, and his wife and everything, we talked about it. I don't want to address the problem, let somebody know, so somebody else. If you're here in the car, my car will sit right there. I got pictures and everything, you'll see it in the newspaper, Mr. Lewis printed out. And so, okay, wow, now I come back today and go check it out. Nobody says the problem. So I got pictures again. I went found me a big barrel of skin way down the street. Not to say the guys didn't put one in there, but I found it way down the street. And I come back on a 55-gallon drum. I got set over there right now. I got pictures of that also. But my truck is. I just wanted to bring it to someone's attention. You know, what I'm supposed to do. I'm told that if I don't lose out this evening, but I need to be at the meeting. But I got to drive my truck being all but I gotta keep it turned to your left. I've got to go on this job, and it's for Mr. Straight Springs. These potholes y'all got around here, this is what I do. I can fix it. I fix what the trimmer dog, the general, and all that. Y'all need some help, I'm willing to help. But what I'm supposed to do about my truck? I mean, not coming and blaming nobody or whatsoever. But wow, it's unreal. I mean, wow. I put the barrel there, I just went back and took a picture. The problem hadn't been assessed yet since Saturday. I took pictures. Since I hit the hole. Need some, all I needed was a wheelbarrow of gravel and assess the problem for the time being or whatever. Y'all need some help? This is what I do. I'll help you fix the situation such as this. You got one right here. You ride right through here. Big pothole. You need some help? I'll be willing to help at a very, very low cost. I really would. But, man, I don't know what it's going to cost me to fix my truck. But I know how way, bam. I live with a Franklin now, 2-hour drive.
Lane, when were you told about the issue?
Mr. Bill's name was on the
Today? Okay.
Okay.
You say you reported it on Saturday?
Saturday at 1:50. Well, no notice. I just came up here to the dispatch and I didn't know what was up. I didn't know when I had to go. I got to get back out of town.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know something about it. I would have had someone go in
I believe that.
and do that.
I believe that. I reported to the dispatcher here. Who else I know they reported to?
No one passed it on before.
I understand, but I didn't know. I don't have your personal number. Nobody here on the road. So I come to the police station here and reported to the dispatcher. What else I supposed to do?
Well, you did the right thing.
And you know, I'm not coming here crapping and mad or nothing about that. Things happen. Now, not to say that the guys didn't have a barrel or coming, but I found it right on the street. All this man, we done had this and everything. I'm not saying that the man ain't did the job or whatever. But I went and found it and I put it there this evening. It's on my camera. But it hadn't been assessed since Saturday at 1:50 that I reported it.
So do you want to get an estimate on what's wrong with your truck?
Well, quite natural.
Do what?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to find out what the town's liability is in reference to that. I know that if we were notified, I know that at a point in time it becomes our responsibility. But ahead of time, if a tree limb fell today across the road, I mean, there's got to be an amount of time to go in and fix it.
I hit it. You want it? It's on my phone.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I pull it out. I reported it right here to the dispatcher.
Okay.
I didn't know it's Saturday. Who else I know to report it to? Is anyone else I know to report it to? No. I didn't know anyone else. So I just followed that procedure, and that's all I know to do.
Well, I mean, that's all you could do, I guess, on Saturday.
I come back Monday, yesterday, man, everybody ain't no calling me nothing, man. Nobody says this problem here, nothing. So I go to Mr. Lewis down there, because I'm a post this in the paper, and that's what I did.
All right.
And now today, I come back Tuesday. I'm in and out of town. Hope's still wide open. So I went found me a barrel. I got it on my camera. And I put it in that hole. And it's a 55-gallon plastic barrel that I said it sets right off in that hole. What I'm supposed to do. So I came to Miss Alice and told her that nobody ever contacted her. So I didn't know what to do before the accident happened with someone else. Now, you know, I got to travel. I got to keep rolling. I mean, hey, I just wanted to address the problem. If it's my expense, I gotta do what I gotta do because I gotta keep traveling.
All right, so we're thankful that you came to Miss Adams today, and tomorrow morning, the street crew will be out there putting some patch in that hole, and maybe the hole over here that you mentioned also.
You better believe it's one over there that's on everywhere. But check this out. This is what I do. I would be willing and glad to help the city, county, I say the city. Look, patching holes and this and that, it don't take that much time or that much money. Look into me, I'm licensed and I'm insured. I work for Straight Spanks, that's where I'm headed to. Franklin to Louisiana for him right now. I mean, little small little stuff can be addressed if you address it right then. I have no problem with helping someone, even the city or whoever. I have to travel these roads also.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. But wow, man, my truck.
Well, we've got the product to repair those.
Hey man, sir,
Yeah.
I'll be glad to help prepare.
All right.
I'm telling you, somebody just get with me, Mr. Russell. You know me, Bill. You know me.
But maybe you should just maybe do an assessment yourself and do
Y'all give me the material and do it.
I'm just saying, you can put in a bid for it because.
Well, they everywhere is all the time. And I promise you, it'll be
That's 2
in you
minutes.
all's budget. It would be in you all's budget to access this product. Mr. Russell, you know what I have? Ain't gonna be no big deal. I'll save you money. Now you gotta spend money if y'all listening to what I'm saying. How I know how much this here truck gonna cost me to get fixed?
Well, let's go figure that. Let's figure that out with whoever you get your truck worked on.
So I get it estimated and bring your estimated back or whatever.
Right. Let's go from there. Let's figure out what the problem is and let's go from there.
But I'm willing to help you.
All
This
right.
is what I do. I'm like, talk to us and trace man. And
You do good work.
I'll tell you, look, patch it up, man, and tell you, really assess the problem that is really critical, but things that you can do to keep things going. You with me?
I'm with you.
It's simple, man. And you can tap into the wheel down the and put it down the road. Now, since Saturday, I'm gonna tell you that you could at least put a wheel down, grab it now. Not to say you're gonna fix the problem totally right now. You with me? Somebody gotta be with me here. Understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't cost you a arm and a leg. They got a big pothole right there. I said, oh, look at here. I get patch asphalt from Co-op and take care of Mr. Weather and the Dollar General. They're never gonna have a problem because when I see it, I'll fix it because they give me authority to fix it.
Well, that is our responsibility when we're notified of a
I'll be
problem.
glad to help you.
All right. So let's see what the truck's problem is, and let's get back to the board here. And then, like I say, tomorrow we'll get the street department down here and patch up that.
I need some help. Tell them to call me.
All right.
Because I've been in this construction work for so long that I'm about to ease out of it, but I'm not gonna totally get out of it. But I'm going underneath some air conditioning.
There you go. Well, we certainly appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Man, Mr. Lewis, let me know, man. We patch a hole, man. It didn't take that much to do it. And keep things moving.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
promise you that. All right. I'm gonna get this thing here assessed whenever I can, because I gotta go to Franklin, Louisiana. It's a 2-hour drive. I don't care which way I go.
All right. We'll keep it in the middle of the road.
That's why I kept it in the middle while I do. But anyway, but serious business, all this aside. I'm just trying to get estimate on it and whatever, but I gotta go to work.
Okay.
And I'll just do a little deal and see what it costs, and whatever y'all need me. I get things in order and voluntarily.
All right.
I promise you I would.
We appreciate it very
Mr.
much.
Wilson?
I told you that when you got up there, you did good work. Okay. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Delane, is there anybody else on new business?
No, I'm looking at some.
All right. So we're going back to utility department. Mr. Long.
How y'all doing? I have nothing tonight but the water report. Anybody have a question about it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I just want to point out how appreciative Mr. Gonda probably is, and how appreciative the board is for y'all doing what you did the other weekend. We said we'd take care of it, and y'all took care of it. I don't think you could have done a better job, so, I mean, is the board aware of what happened?
Yeah, I witnessed it. I watched them work.
Okay,
They got out
all right, well, Ghana has
Put
sent,
it in the paper, make you sign it.
I would, I'd put it in there,
Yeah.
but,
Spur of the moment, it was on Sunday.
but he had, Ghana had expressed an issue, and these guys on a Sunday got the equipment, got the pipe, did everything, put it in. So that's a done deal. All right?
I'll
Does anybody-
what was?
It was for the roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it
Was it an old cast iron pipe,
Yeah.
terracotta pipe?
Yeah, where it transferred to cast iron to plastic. And back then, they used to, concrete together, instead of use a fittings, so the roof's fine, it was totally closed.
All right, well, I know that he appreciates it very much, and we certainly do. Anybody have any questions? What about the gas and wastewater? Jeremy's not here. Is everything, are we all right over there?
He's supposed to be here, something else came, but
Okay,
he told me he was here.
okay. All right, well, thank you so much.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, Main Street.
Okay, we're just coming, to give kind of an update on where we are and what's going on with Main Street. I know I've talked to several of you personally, over the last few weeks. There seems to be a little confusion about Main Street and what we do and who we are and where we stand and all of that. So I've given you all a packet that kind of explains who we are, what we do, where we are financially, and some opportunities that we have. As y'all know, we are funded by you all and the industrial board. Because the industrial board was, the prison was taken over by the state, from what we understand, we no longer have our industrial board funding, we have not since December. So we are in a super big pickle, to say the least. We have the ARPA grant that we've been talking to y'all about for a very long time. We just had absolutely no idea it was going to take us this long to implement it. If we can survive long enough, we still plan on putting that $100,000 into the community as soon as we can to do the facade grants to update 8 buildings on the square. The architect will choose the buildings, we will not, and it will either be awnings, paint, or signage that these buildings get. But we've got to be able to survive long enough to do that, which we're hoping we can. We don't have, we know that the industrial board is talking about working us back into their budget, but we don't have that answer just yet. So, Drew asked me to give y'all sort of an idea of what our expenses are in a year, which, I have provided for you all. As you can see, it is very, we are very underfunded. We are in the state of Mississippi one of the least funded programs, which makes it difficult for us to do a lot of things. And I know we can do some fundraising and things like that to try and help our budget, but as we all know, in this town, that's difficult to do as well. One of the things that we wanted to explain to everybody, because I think it's kind of confusing of how Main Street works. And Mississippi, we are part of Mississippi Main Street, which is the state organization, which is a part of National Main Street America. There are 3 levels of Main Street organizations that you can achieve, and we are at the highest level, meaning we are a designated community. It has several requirements to maintain, to stay a designated community, you have to pay annual dues, you have to have an employee's director. Cities of 5,000 people or more have to have a full-time director. Cities of 5,000 or less have to have a part-time director. But one of the things, we also have to get a certain amount of funding from city, county, organizations. But one of the things that really behooves us by maintaining this designated status is that we get access to the grants that Mississippi Main Street works so hard for. If we don't maintain that status, we don't get the grants. For instance, this $100,000 in ARPA money that we have sitting in our bank account waiting to implement with the facade program, we only got that money because we are a designated Main Street program. I've talked to y'all, it's been a while, about the Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Grant, where we have an opportunity to get up to $500,000. Unfortunately, the governor vetoed that grant, so it was going back to the House and Senate, but the only reason we got that grant is because we are a designated program and because we are a 501c3. We are a freestanding organization. We're not a part of the town administration, but because we had that status and we are designated, that's the only reason we got the opportunity to apply for that $500,000. Which we don't have, but anyway. So, I don't know if you all know, but Mickey, who has served as our director for the last year or so since I resigned, he is no longer with us either. He was having some health issues and had to resign. So right now we are in a whole lot of limbo. I'm sure y'all have questions. I'm happy to answer. Alicia and Mark, we're all happy to answer to the best of our ability if there's anything y'all want us to answer.
We're behind on our filings?
I'm sorry?
Are we behind on our filings quarterly or annually? To Main Street or to the state or to whoever we're supposed to?
We're not behind on our filings as far as, I guess it depends on exactly who you're referring to, but.
Well, I'm not sure who exactly we report stuff to. Like, for instance, I know it's a different thing, but, Historic Preservation sends reports to MDAH. So I didn't know if you were supposed to send reports to Mississippi Main Street headquarters.
We do. We are required to do biannual reports, and we are up to date on that with Mississippi Main Street.
Okay. All right. Did y'all meet today?
No.
When did you say you have a meeting coming up?
We meet the first Monday of every month, but I was out of town yesterday, so we'll meet next week.
Okay. What are some of the topics y'all want to cover? Are you able to say?
Really, our main focus at this point is surviving.
Okay, so are you gonna look at your membership? Maybe membership, but are you gonna look at your board and kind of ask them, do y'all still want to do this? Meaning that be on the board. Does that mean it's gonna be looking for some new board members and/or?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely open to having new members if people are interested.
Okay.
Welcome that for sure.
Okay, and then how do we advertise or look for a director?
That we will talk about and find out, but we have to know if we can survive long enough to even do that. Because
Okay.
right now, we cannot pay someone, so there's no point in us
So
looking to hire someone until we know if we're gonna get funding from the industrial board back, because if we don't, then it's game over.
Okay, so what I read in some paperwork is that the director's pay is decided on by your board.
Yeah, I mean, the director's pay for us has been the same since this started 18 years ago. It's always been the same.
Right.
There is a minimum, and Mississippi Main Street just increased that minimum.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll be grandfathered in, meaning we don't have to increase it to whatever they did. But there is a minimum requirement.
So are we working under the 5,000 population or over it?
Under, because it's town, not county.
Okay, and do you recall why Wilkinson County was included in the Woodville Main Street initial filing or initial name?
I think that from what I understand, when I asked the same question, I was told by the Mississippi Main Street staff that when they first started getting Mississippi Main Street communities, they thought that it was a good idea to kind of have an umbrella for the entire county, but they quickly realized it is not. It's just, I mean, for some cities, but big cities, it's not a big deal, but for people like us that don't have, I mean, there's no thing. It's just, there's not enough funding, there's not enough assistance to do.
So there's not enough businesses outside the city limits to contribute, good portions of money. Like, I mean, if you had a big outfit up the road, that would be like, oh yeah, I mean, write you a check for $10,000 a year to help your Main Street Association out, right? We don't have that. Mm-hmm. Do you accept personal citizens to be members? Can they pay a due?
Yes.
Okay, so how many of those we have?
I don't think we have any anymore.
Any more? Okay.
And that's one of the things we've talked about, if we can survive long enough to implement this grant. That's really our main focus, is to take that $100,000 that we've got sitting, actually we have 161, but the 60,000 is for another project. But we want to survive long enough to get that money put into the community, and then we'll go from there. It's figuring out if we can survive, how we'll do membership drives and all that.
So we mentioned, how commas are very important and words are, sometimes critical. We're on the right track though as far as filing those grant applications and everything, like correctly worded.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So for the ARPA funding, we have to keep the money that we have, the $100,000 that we received to do the facade grants, and then the $61,000 or $2,000 that we received to do a master plan for the town. All of that is still sitting in our bank account. The ARPA reporting is extremely difficult. That's why this has taken so long, or part of what has taken so long. One of the members of Mississippi Main Street came and sat with myself and Kelly Stinks for 4 hours, and last week or the week before, going through all of our ARPA reporting, because they literally will throw it out if you don't have a comment in the right place. That's what Drew's referring to. So she spent 4 hours with us making sure everything is on track.
Okay.
As far as we know, it is.
Okay, so you already have a designated avenue for the 100,000. Meaning
yes,
that,
I mean, we have it. It's in our bank. Yes.
I know you got the money, but what I'm saying is, you vote for the ARPA funds to not have to be returned. You've already designated where that money's going to be spent.
Yes,
we had to do the same thing in
yes,
town.
yes,
Okay.
for the facade program.
Okay.
So the buildings will get either, the 8 buildings that are selected by the architect will either get new paint, new awnings, new signs, or a combination of
Okay.
the 3.
All right, so as far as having it known what it's going to be for, we've covered that. When does the money have to be spent by? Is there a date for that?
I think it's either the end of this year or mid-26. I can find that out for you.
Okay.
We had to allocate it by December 31st of 24, which we did.
Okay. All right, and then there's a completion date.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't remember what ours is either, but for the town, I would assume it's the same.
It might probably.
Okay.
But I'll find out for sure.
All right, so y'all are gonna meet next Monday,
I think so.
and if you could just, maybe reach out to somebody and say, hey, look, this is what we covered. These are some of our ideas, and we have 2 applicants for the director or something like that. Hopefully, wouldn't that be nice? Woodville needs Main Street to survive. MDAH needs historic preservation, Main Street, and any other group to survive, because I don't understand what the point is in turning down, some matching funds for anything that the town could benefit from. So I'd like to remain in a position to be eligible for those funds. So if it takes this group and your group working together to come up with some ideas to be able to afford to stay in business, can we please do that?
But we are 100% all about working together and
Okay.
with whomever, as
Oh,
long
yeah.
as it's in the best interest of Woodville. We
All
don't
right.
work with anybody in Alderman.
Are you partnering, up for that square dance thing?
Yes.
Okay, is she trying to,
Well, we're not hosting it, but we've told them we would help in any way we could.
right. I don't know how much of that whole thing has changed as far as what they planned on, or had planned on doing and what they're planning on doing now. I tried to call her a couple times, I just hadn't spoken with her.
I don't know what the plan was before, as far as we know, it's just on May 10th. Yes, May 10th, on, I believe, on this side of the square,
Yeah,
and, music, food.
I think
my
so.
understanding.
Hoping to sell 300 tickets last I heard, whether they got that level or not, but that's what they were shooting for.
Yeah. Okay,
And the funds would go towards, the proceeds would go towards a beautification project.
all right, so have they even talked about what that might be, or they're gonna try to raise the money and then maybe come up with an idea?
That is,
Not to be facetious, don't you think you need to ask me, is Vaughn yet or not?
Yeah, that's fine, we'll do that.
Because Hookie's not Main Street, right?
right, and that's their.
Well, I know
There's
that,
a way for her trying to give answers that she doesn't know.
no, she doesn't, but she's probably had some ideas, you know,
She may have some ideas, but somebody.
Yeah, I
All right,
don't know.
I
She
sort
does
of-
not say what exactly the beautification projects are, other than that's what their goal was to do with the funds they raised.
all right, well, I appreciate you letting me know. Does anybody have any questions for, Ms. Seal? All right, well, I certainly appreciate it. Mark?
Thank you all.
Is there a zone? Is there a fire? Is there a police report?
Good afternoon. Just got word from Chief Miller of the Summit Police Department. That we were mentioning to you all last board meeting about them donating a patrol vehicle to us. We had to get the striping off of it before they could sign the title. That has been taken care of today. Myself and Chief Dennis will travel to the Summit tomorrow.
Is this one free?
Yes, sir.
What you getting?
It's 2017 Ford Explorer.
Okay. It's got a cage or anything?
Yes, sir.
Really?
It's coming fully equipped, cage, the lights, push bumper, everything except the radio, if I'm not mistaken. They took the radio out and Wi-Fi, stuff like that.
All right. Who initiated all that? Was that a chance meeting and discussion between yourself and?
That was come from, when I sent the letters out, back in August, to our other agencies who donated or, sold with fair price to us.
All right, well, I know we appreciate your efforts on that. Sounds like you've had a couple of vehicles that paid off.
Yeah, we've had a little, some repairs on, but that was expected.
Taking 9 months,
Yeah. I also have, get this to the clerk, for $25,500 check from the Wilson County Industrial Board, for vehicle repairs or maintenance, whatever we need still. When we get this Explorer tomorrow, from my understanding, it needs a throttle body. As far as time of summer goes, hopefully the clerk will be able to put some of it back into what we've already spent on repairs on private donor. We will be receiving a second check of $2,500 for the same, to the year mark for the same, vehicle repair and maintenance. Don't know when we will receive it, but, we do now turn that over to the clerk as well. That's pretty much all I have, unless y'all have something for me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And shout out to that young man, you're doing a terrific job.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Seaver?
If you all have a chance to look at over the month, March court, monthly report, you'll see, what we have collected, what has been dispersed as assessments, and what has been, deposited into the bank. Second page shows the number of tickets that have been issued by the police department. And the third is the, receipts, collection of the fines. Do you have any questions?
If you look at fines collected, just new fines or new and,
Most of that is new, pretty much new. We have not, we have people sporadically come in and pay on their old fines, but not as much as the,
I just never seen this before, that's why I was like.
Who's reaching out to the old people, the old fine?
I'm still waiting on the judge to, come up with a plan on how we're gonna do that, whether we issue letters, because that's gonna take a lot of postage to issue letters.
Yeah.
To have them come in and pay their old fines. We have some of those who have new fines that have not come in and did not report to court.
Okay.
You assessed $2,470 and deposited $8,000.
That's the formula that is going to show when you on the computer.
You tell them don't do somebody else, you know why you do it, and somebody ask you a question, you know.
Yes,
I don't know.
It goes on the
You
state?
can't tell.
Yes, the assessment, we have certain fines that stay with us, and the other go to the state. I have to do a report at the end of each month that shows, what I collected per each fine.
That's fine, okay, I'm just saying, it's a little, offsetting because it says 2,000, but you deposit 10. So. Okay, it says 2, you only deposited 8, but you collected 10.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the total that's collected.
The total collected, and you have your assessments that go to the state.
I understand it's 10, but you don't say you deposited 8.
The town keeps it, the other 2 goes to the state.
He go to the,
There's a check that is, sent to them along with that end of the month report that shows, it's broken down by the violations.
so unless the percent they get one.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any more questions for Ms. Seaver? All right, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Adams?
Good evening. The only new thing that I have that I need the board to, move on is, a decision about the sick time. How you going to, the number of hours sick time the board is going to give and how it's going to be approved.
80 hours?
Yes, ma'am, the past was 80 hours. Like I said, in the past, they did it, at the beginning of the year, the suggestion was because that creates a lot of liability for the town, because you have a person that comes in, and they may stay for, their 9 days or whatever, and they leave, and so the town is responsible for paying them the 8 hours sick time, so giving it to them on the front end is a liability for the town. Suggestion was to break up to 80 to accrue it monthly, and I think that would come out from like 6.6 hours per month. And those did come to that 8 hours.
I have a question. You said a new employee would benefit the same?
No, I said a new employee would accrue the same, if you give it to them at the beginning, so when they start out the probation, the policy, the practice was to give them their sick time, the 8 hour sick time. I said the person comes and works for, 3 or 4, 5 months or whatever, and then they leave, and then the town is supposed to pay them that sick time.
I thought we didn't get it until after being employed a year anyway.
Well, that's vacation.
That's a vacation.
But we cannot penalize those people that are already employed for somebody new on the contingency of this possibility that they might be. Then you have these people that are already on the job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the people that are here with a sick time they have, I know some people use exhaustion last year, every time they died from last year, they'll get that for this year, and then the new 8 hours will accrue going forward. So no one in the, no current employee will lose what they should already have.
Is there a maximum on the approved sick time?
8 hours?
No, rolling it over.
Oh, rolling over, there has not been a limit, there has not been a limit.
Right. What are some other things people that are, they've mentioned about sick time and vacation time and everything else?
Some people do, like, if it's personal time, or whatever rate you accrue it, there's a maximum, that a person can get. The suggestion was that at the end of the year, one suggestion, at the end of the year, any unused sick time, the employee can buy that sick time back at the end of the year. That's in one suggestion. One suggestion has been that sick time will roll over, but there's a maximum number of hours that can roll over.
Now, the county, in reference to vacation time, I think the county issues vacation time, and if you don't use it, you lose it.
Correct.
Did you ever get an answer on what they do with sick time?
No. And I don't even remember, because I work for the county, so you have to take the vacation.
Right. And I mean, that's simply to keep it from rolling over and adding up to a huge number, Does anybody else have any suggestions on the sick time and how it should be distributed or dispersed?
And it was at 8 hours, it was 6.6 hours.
6.666.
So you get it per pay period.
I believe that's how it worked out because we get paid, we have 26 pay periods, so I think it worked out like that. It's not going to make a correction, but still, just to let them know how many hours they're going to get and how they're going to get it, people need to know.
Yeah.
So are you saying, still give them the 80,
Okay?
divide it up, by pay period, where they, they obtain it over time, over the course of a year.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it's gonna roll over to the next year? How much unused is gonna roll over?
Okay, that's what y'all have to do.
We're gonna roll over if you haven't used it.
I mean, it don't matter to me. I mean, if y'all wanted to just keep rolling over and adding up without there being a maximum amount,
You can consider it not to be a maximum amount or a maximum amount, because the individual keeps their sick time, and it's a possibility they may have to be off in the hospital, they have that time. So I don't see where it's a waste.
I don't think it's a waste, but it is a gift from the town.
It's not a gift, people work.
they work for their vacation time. And as sick time has been over years, it's been a gift because it's been given on day one of the month of January. 80 full hours right off the bat.
Is it any way you could have it sick time that would roll over, but you would have a cap on it to where if they leave, a whole bunch of sick time built up, they'll only get paid for a certain portion of it. They won't get paid for 2,000 hours.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to develop.
Try to cap it where they can only get X number of dollars. But if they're still working and they got 2,000 hours built up and they're still working, they can add that hours with sick time.
The way we do ours, it's like we go like 2 years, and that third year we have to do something with one of them. We have to do something with, like that third year we probably lose one of those years. We, we're not gonna go 3 years, it's gonna go. So they cap it out like 2 years or something like that.
Be 160 hours. If you front load, like we've been doing, you're just giving them a bonus at the beginning of the year, because anytime, at some point in time, you're going to have given them more hours than they technically would have earned, if we call it earned sick leave. So I think the idea of posting it monthly after they've been employed is proper. And then you probably ought to cap it at a certain number. Once they get to so many hours, that's it. I don't know what that figure is, but, they've been here 10 years and they're gonna earn 800 hours. That's a big price to pay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how does an individual that's just starting the same thing as an individual that's already working?
I'm saying that
No,
definitely you wouldn't be, because if you give them, it's just starting and they show up on day one and they've got 80 hours sick leave, and then they decide, well, 6 months down the road, we want to go work for the hospital or somewhere.
Why start them that?
You wouldn't. That's what I'm suggesting when she's saying do it.
I don't see it.
After a month, they get 6 2/3. The second month, they get 6 2/3. And then they just build up, and can accumulate as much as, 80 hours a month, a year. And then you have a certain cap on that, where they, because you don't want to burden the town with too much sick leave, because at some point in time, they're going to use some of it, but a lot of them are not going to use it.
Everybody hear what Will said?
After 2 years, the third year, you don't use it, you lose it. That's it, their vacation, just or how it is.
Sick leave,
So you're gonna be giving everybody the same amount of hours?
Well, I'm not saying they don't lose, they just,
They have
We
to
can't
take-
earn
you have to take
anymore.
one of those, just one of those years, we just don't add, I'm not saying they
You don't take away what they have, just on add more to it.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
So like 160 hours
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
yeah, it's kind of like capping at 160 hours.
Yeah.
So my suggestion to eliminate the long-term liability was simply pay it out monthly or quarterly, per pay period, however you do it, spread it out per year. Unused sick time, you've already given it to them, you can't really take it back. So unused sick time gets paid back to the employee December 15th at the end of the year for any unused sick time. That way nothing rolls over, they weren't stripped of anything they were promised, and you don't end up with a long-term liability in 2 years with 800 hours worth of sick time.
So what you're saying essentially is gonna cap it at 80 then, and it's paid out at the end of the year, so you're automatically paying your sick leave out and they start over again with no sick leave.
Right.
Is that correct?
Kind of. You will start getting sick leave right at your first 2-week paycheck, and then you're going to keep getting it throughout the year. All I'm trying to do is limit this giant number from surprising you at a time when you ain't got it. That's the only reason for buying it back.
Over time, is what you're saying.
I'm saying buying it back at the end of the year. If a person says, okay, I was given 80 hours, I used 40 of it, like ethically, morally, and whatever, I really was sick for 40 of it, so I'd like to buy my other 40 or sell my other 40 back to the town, so that means that employee starts off January 1st or first paycheck obtaining more hours, and you don't get caught owing some huge sick leave check.
Does
So it's
any
just-
of our sick time go towards our vacation? I mean, our retirement?
I'm sorry, what?
Does any of the sick time go towards the employee's retirement?
I don't know, does it go, the sick time goes to PERS? So, there's probably about 10 different ways to do this.
So why would you wanna pay your time, buy your time back when you go to retire?
You know, right before Christmas, somebody might like a few $100.
Yeah, but I think, and all these ideas sound pretty good, but we're talking about them right off the top of the head, instead of looking at it, formulated on in black and white, so it could be understood a little bit better. I'm not sure what would be the best way, I'm not trying to prolong it. But I have a question too about comp time. I'm not a take-off person for sick or vacation or anything, but 2 days ago, I made 4 years here, and I put in thousands of hours that don't reflect on my check stub. Because I'm working shifts and doing administrative duties, so I have a question about that also. How is comp time or personal time accrued, along with the sick vacation or whatever, so this is something that we kind of need to.
So we are certainly just talking about it and trying to get a workable solution, right? That's best for everybody.
Well, can we schedule a meeting where we just discuss this and come up with a workable solution?
Sure. Next Friday? Russell said not Friday.
You said on next Friday, the 18th?
Have we not count sick leave in the past, you just built it up?
No,
Apparently.
you know, there's not any, it rolls over, sick leave rolls over, and a few years ago, they made it where, you know, your vacation time, it goes into sick time, so it rolls over as well.
So that you've added sick.
Yeah. And, you know, person leave, there's a maximum I think it's a maximum 320 hours that you do pay out, but, any unused sick or vacation goes to purpose.
So you've got some form of, yeah. 320 days of hours.
Okay, what else?
Or could we just go with what Will said, do like the monthly payment and then let it accrue to 160 and have to use that before they start putting more time? I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Because like the chief said, maybe we should see.
If they have an emergency, they have something to fall
Or
back
maybe we
on.
should see all the choices on the sheet so we can actually see what is what, rather than picking here, or whatever.
Yeah, cause I would rather go to my retirement, so I'm tired.
Okay, all right, so, what is it again?
That's Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. What, you work Monday, Tuesday?
Probably Monday.
Monday?
Yeah. Somebody work early tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, Monday. I can get off Sunday morning. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I get off Monday morning.
And does that work for you all too? Sorry. I know y'all know you're available, so that's not check that. So Monday's good for, yeah.
What time is that?
Give us time.
That's the day after Easter.
Monday, that's, Thursday, 14th. Day before tax day.
Can we do it on one side?
That's fine with me?
Yeah.
Probably about 10.
10, all right.
Just,
Okay,
The
so,
only thing to discuss is
only thing we'll discuss is this time. Special meeting.
You're not voting on it, you're just discussing it, right?
If we got a forum, before I come to the decision, we can vote on it.
Oh, okay. So you're calling a regular meeting,
It's a
special meeting?
I think that's the only thing that I had. And for yeah, still need to, no, wait, you don't have to ask for orange area.
And what?
You don't need an orange area. No, okay, good. Just don't forget to do I look at the minutes, I look at the minutes, I got, yeah, I'm working. We did, they did January and December, I think those two, this is the last meeting, but the last March meeting, regular meeting and 2 special meetings. Okay.
Delaney, I guess it's, well, you,
Which is that? Which month's are those?
That's the March meeting.
No, the ones that have been.
January, January 11th and December 3rd.
Can the board invest on one of those machines like the attorney uses to record your board, like y'all dictate, and then y'all can take the tape and put it in your ear and y'all can get the minutes done a lot quicker than sitting here trying to listen?
Good idea like that. Only thing about that, I have to be sure, because if the town records minutes, then we have to be responsible for retention. So we gotta make sure we keep them.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, no, no.
See, I think your whole audio system would have to be recorded, because you can't just record up here, because you can't hear what y'all are saying in the phone.
Well, I guess it depends on the machine you get, or how you get it to record. The attorney may can check in to see what we do need. I think other places do it.
Amazon records their minutes, their meetings, I'm sorry. But they transcribe on their own.
Yeah.
They have the clerk in there taking the minutes.
Oh, okay.
And then you go put them together. You're talking about giving funding, which is something
Yeah.
she would probably want, maybe, or somebody to call in and give funding and talk about that. I don't know what that would be. And so in addition, third party something, you know.
Sure.
And so, but, beforehand, I don't think that's, that good of a sense, it's just not. But they also Zoom their meetings too, where you can call and listen.
Okay. I make a motion to adjourn.
hang on, do you,
Oh, yeah.
what else you got?
Approve the minutes, approve the docket, and approve the departmental reports.
Right.
I did.
All right, so we need a motion to, approval of the bills.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. All right, you got that? Approval to pay, need approval to pay the minutes as distributed.
That's what they just voted on.
They did already, no, I thought we paid the bills.
Yeah, you said approve to pay the minutes as distributed.
Oh, I didn't mean to pay the minutes. You know what I meant. We need a motion to, approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye. And what was, and approve departmental reports.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Okay. What else you got, Delaney?
So that's all I have.
All right, so this is coming out, this is gonna be coming out of the town hall. We need to look at how these 501c3s are doing business. And, I'd like to discuss, a an annual updating and reporting that these 501s need to do to the town. And, we just need to keep accurate records of who's what, who's meeting what's what.
Okay, you can put this in the paper, because I don't think we're supposed to reach out, but like I know the churches, share tax exempt, they're supposed to submit, a new form every year.
Right. But I'm saying, if you're requesting this and requesting that in conjunction with the town needs to have on record that you are, legit.
Okay, that's the order for you, okay?
Right.
Okay.
So, does everyone understand what kind of motion we need? If anybody's interested in making a motion. Making a motion to, for the 501c3s and other nonprofits to have annual reporting, updated information to the town. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All in favor say aye. Was that 2 ayes?
Is that you vote? You vote in favor? Yes. All in favor?
All in favor? I think it was. All right.
I have a question. Why wasn't my garbage picked up?
All right, so I got 5 phone calls on that today.
Not this, the time before, they left it a week.
They got it Monday?
They got it Monday.
I didn't get none.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
We'd like to get the word out if we can. Anyone that knows anyone that's missing a pickup, could they please notify the town hall? Obviously, we're in transition to a new waste collection company. Brand new truck, brand new drivers, and we've got to make sure they're familiar with all the stops.
question,
Yes. And this is not order, this is just information purposes. The, Meridian is bringing new garbage receptacle, and they need a place to stage and unload, and, they're going to be able to use the old freights, give them word, gave them permission to use the old freights. And the, should start, April 21st, 23rd, 23rd and 24th.
just a 2 day, they come in with 18 wheels, unload them, and take 2 days to strip.
And that's what they said. And then he did tell me that he did have a location worked out with somebody to do the offload. And I didn't know where it was, and he didn't know where it was. So Fred's is great. If someone got permission to do that, and then they're gonna start handing out those cans.
Right. And also, put in the paper, because I know we're going to transition, but the reading waste starts at 6. So the garbage will be out by 6. And also, I need to get clarification on this with the, supervisor said that they're gonna pick up was in their cans. So make sure their garbage is in their cans around about 6 o'clock in the morning. Cause, Tuesday, Monday, 8 o'clock, they're walking through the door.
Yeah. It was picked up early. And but they also sent 2 trucks. So they did, pretty quick, I guess.
Are these all gonna be for residential?
Residential.
What about small commercial?
Your cans? I'm not sure.
Small commercial?
If you're, I'm not sure.
What's the question?
All my garbage is picked up, it's all in 2 cans, and then I overflow to a 3rd can sometime. But they're right side by side.
Is one from your house and one from your business? Right. So small commercial and residential are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll get the same,
I want to cut back to one because I know I can't.
It's a matter of fact, it's small, it's a big can.
Well, I know 96 or 98 gallons, that's a lot of big things.
Right.
I
So one of my questions today was, why the can? Well, why the can is primarily,
one person can run the truck.
well, it's a safety and efficiency issue. And also, in the event that this outfit ends up getting a remote truck, then that one driver who operates that one arm can actually do it on his own. The county will probably end up with cans on the next go-around because of the safety part of it and so forth. Because of course the can has that little bar on the back where that gripper can pick it up and throw it in the back. So, you know, there was a question about raising the price on the garbage collection. Well, Waste Management didn't bring a bid to the table, our former thing. We were limited to the two that did, and we chose the lowest one. So, you know, that's how that panned out. So, cans should be here in a couple weeks and be looking good. And I hope, like I say, by then they'll have everybody, all the little back alleys and shortcuts and so forth, you know where to go and pick up. So, all right, so have we covered everything?
No, I have something. You didn't ask, but I do have something. I think an ad should be put in the paper for the election, the general election and for the runoff, because a lot of people say that they didn't even know about the election. Okay, so that was one concern, because a lot of people call, say they didn't know we had an election. And
Put it in the paper 2 weeks, it goes out of it, man.
I don't know, I'm just saying what I was told.
I didn't get the election turned in, I got the on vacation election.
Okay.
It's in there this week. And the ballot for next election is in there. Huh? Yeah, I got the election return, I was gone, I was gone, but I got the election returns, official election returns, and the runoff ballot in this week's paper, so if anybody says you can tell. Did you like the race paper? You want to know?
The second thing is, with the upcoming election and the authorization of a new board, I think an audit should be done for each department, for those individuals coming in to know what is present, what is responsible, what they're responsible for, and as far as that goes, what the old board would know what is not there from possibility when they came in, because I don't think we have an audit, maybe one, since I've been here. So I think each department needs to be audited, and that report submitted at least by the next board meeting, because the new people coming in need to know what they're responsible for.
On their equipment?
Their cars, your computers, whatever they got, saws, whatever. Everybody needs to know what is there, what's not there, what is there when they come in, whatever you need to know. So I make a motion that an audit be conducted on all department properties by the next meeting, which is May.
Give a little long time.
I can't give them a long time because the election is in June, so you want it to be June. Okay, the meeting, I make a motion that the audit be conducted, completed on by board meeting for June.
I second.
Oh, and another thing, I think, the town was given a license by, Main Street. And at a meeting that they had, I think, the tourism group was asking could they use the lights. They had someone that would put them up, for the Boston Road side of the town, if you are not using them. For their night on the square.
Oh, I didn't know they can use them.
They have someone that will put them up.
Okay.
They're gonna need plugs and all kinds of stuff put on, you know, just sections of lights up there, pieces of lights. So someone's gonna have to wire them up, put a plug on them and so forth. I mean, that's their deal.
But that's what I said, they said they had someone that would put them up. They just want to know.
You talking about changing lights on Main Street?
No, they gave the board some lights.
Oh.
And I don't think it's a full set that will go all the way down the Boston Road side of the courthouse, but they said it was stabbing them, and what they just wanted to know if they could use them.
Is that a good order, or is it just an agreement?
I can make a motion.
No, I'm on things, I'm just, make sure I'm listening.
It's under the limit. If it's under the invoice limit, what's it, $5,000?
Oh, okay, they just using the right thing. Okay. So that's, I'm not gonna order for that, but they can use it.
And on the other thing I have is a notification from a Ms. Dacia Ellis. She said that she would like to partner with Wilkinson County and host a, I hope this message finds you well. My name is Dacia Ellis, and I serve as a nutrition educator for the Diabetes Prevention and Control Program in the Mississippi State Department of Health. I received your contact information from Ida Anderson and want to reach out regarding the opportunity to collaborate on the community health issue. We are interested in organizing a screening event in Wilkinson County to provide essential services such as blood glucose, blood pressure, and possible A1C screening. Wilkinson County has been identified as one of our priority populations, and we want to ensure residents have access to vital health information and diabetes-related resources. We are hoping to host the event sometime during the week of April 28, 2025, through May 2nd, 2025, preferably at a central location, such as the health department. However, we are flexible with the exact date and time, and are happy to coordinate based on your availability. Please let me know if this is something we can explore.
Well, one thing, the health department's under renovations, and they announced that it's almost completed. Now, whether it's gonna be completed, they just talked about that yesterday morning.
They called me about helping them, April the 20th.
So, the health department just let me know about that. I don't know if it's gonna be ready or not. They're talking about cleaning up and having to get bids, get the floors waxed and stuff like that.
I guess you know, it's a entity that would like to coordinate with or do
That, using the health department, we have to go through, county anyway, because it's time, and then come through that. I think it's a great idea. That's the way to do it.
So if she contacts, is there any objection from the board?
No.
Anything from executive session?
No.
Make the motion. Second. All in favor, probably is 100%.